Martinez is punching the air again!
The real reason Argentina won the World Cup and 2 Copa Americas wasn't because of Messi, it was someone else. Ever since he came out the blocks in 2020, Emiliano Martinez has announced himself as one of the best goalies in the world. But wait till you see the secret trick he's been using in games that made FIFA ban goalkeepers worldwide from attempting it. Emiliano Martinez is an agent of chaos. While he's hated by pretty much everyone in France, Argentina and many neutrals around the world love him because he's everyone's favorite bad guy, and he can't help it. Martinez loves to talk, but it's safe to say he can back it up with action when he needs to. At the 2021 Copa America, in the quarter-final match versus Colombia, Martinez was head and shoulders above everyone else in the Colombian team.
Their third taker 3 nights ago is their third.
Due to COVID restrictions, no fans were in attendance, meaning everyone watching at home could hear him eat into the Colombian players, telling them they'd miss, and they did. His penalty from Yerry Mina was so good, even Messi loved it.
The trash talking.
They played together on separate teams in England. And another save, Martinez, 2 in a row.
The truth is, Martinez is the type of goalie you'd rather have on your team than to have to play against, and that's because he's well prepared for any situation. Since 2020, Martinez has been taking a different approach to his career that's making him stand out. While most goalies prefer extra drills working to improve shot-stopping abilities, Martinez involves himself in activities like yoga to not only help his flexibility, but also improve his mental strength.
And I put that in my head. I started psychologists. I got personal psychologists that helped me through my bad moments. It's a psychology I still got, and it helped me to pass my frustrations. Because I always believed I had the talent. I always believed in myself, and that I could be one of the best.
To him, that's where his key is, his confidence. Martinez makes it no secret how confident he is in his abilities. Only problem is, sometimes this comes off as being arrogant. In that penalty shootout match versus Colombia, he was already predicting to his opponents where they'd play the ball. He used words like he was going to eat them up. Anyone who'd heard this would have thought he's one big bully and all. But it's quite the opposite. His villain story actually has a humble beginning. Martinez's journey into football wasn't because he wanted to become the best goalkeeper in the world. No, it was because of something else.
I saw my dad crying back home. Obviously, he couldn't pay the bills. I remember that since a very young age. When I left, I need to fight for my family financially.
He wanted to save his family. As he said in that interview, seeing his dad cry at night because he couldn't afford bills at home made him determined to make it as a pro. And from that point on, he joined the local team of Independiente in his native Argentina and finally got his big break in 2009. He'd been offered a trial at Arsenal, and when he passed, he was given a contract in 2010. You'd think a goalie of his abilities now would have easily made the cut back then, but that's far from what happened. After an emergency loan spell at Oxford United, Martinez made his debut in a cup game versus Coventry City. He was also Arsenal's starting goalkeeper in the 7-5 win versus Reading, but while that match was epic for the neutrals and fans watching at home, it didn't do Martinez any good. At the time, he was the third-choice goalie behind Łukasz Fabianski and Wojciech Szczesny, and as a result, the best he could get was loan spells. He went on another emergency loan spell, this time to Sheffield Wednesday, and after he came back, an injury to David Ospina allowed Martinez to make his debut in Europe's biggest competition. He played in the Champions League for Arsenal versus Borussia Dortmund, and was even so good he was named in the Champions League Team of the Week following that performance. But once again, Martinez couldn't nail down a regular starting spot at Arsenal. By 2020, he'd now been at the club for 10 years, and had gotten more loan spells than league appearances. At that point, he'd added Rotherham, Wolves, Getafe and Reading to his loan list. But just like every villain story, all Martinez needed was a big break, or in his case, an unfortunate incident, and a few months later, he got it. Bernd Leno's injury in the match versus Brighton ruled him out for the rest of the season, and this was now Martinez's time to shine. That season, he helped Arsenal win the FA Cup by beating Chelsea 2-1 in the final, and after the game, he just couldn't control it. The tears were out. He worked extra hard to get to that point, and it was now starting to pay off. He began the 2020-21 season by winning the Community Shield with the club. But once again, Martinez and Arsenal were at crossroads. Bernd Leno was back, and Mikel Arteta couldn't give Martinez a guarantee that he would play him week in and week out. In the end, Martinez knew that now at 28, he needed some serious game time if he was going to achieve the promise he made to his brother in 2018. And so when Aston Villa dropped a $20 million offer to the club to make him their #1 goalie, he said yes. Now he was on track, and it was another chance for regular first-team football. At Villa, Martinez became an instant hit, saved a penalty on his debut, and equaled the club record for the most clean sheets in a season set by Brad Friedel with 15, and was named Villa's Supporters Player of the Season. Now, at this point, I'm pretty sure you're wondering how a good guy who'd finally achieved his dream of getting a stable club suddenly turned evil, and what the promise he made to his brother in 2018 was, and I'll get to that in a minute. But first, I need you to do me a solid. See that subscribe button right there? Click it to get the latest video updates on Total Footy, so you never miss any of the action. Right, back to Martinez now, and 2021 was a turning point for him, the year he turned evil. See, Martinez had dreams of one day playing for Argentina, and in June that year, he got his opportunity. He made his debut for the national team against Chile, and a few weeks later at the 2021 Copa Americas, Martinez was Argentina's first choice. In the opening game of the competition versus Chile, even though they scored from the rebound, his penalty save from Chile's Arturo Vidal was an indicator of things to come. It was still only the beginning. His penalty saves against Colombia in the semi-final made him an instant hero, and in the final versus Brazil, he kept a clean sheet to win Argentina their first major trophy in 28 years. He won the tournament's Best Goalkeeper of the Competition award as a result too. Martinez had delivered, the trust of the national team manager Lionel Scaloni was now in him, and he was all set to finally fulfill that promise we talked about earlier. He promised his brother that he'd be Argentina's starting goalie at the 2022 World Cup, and to be fair, Martinez more than deserved it. He'd helped Argentina win the 2021 Copa Americas and the Finalissima trophy of 2022. He was the obvious pick, made the cut for the competition, and once again, he came to his country's rescue. Argentina had made it out of the group stage and into the quarterfinals versus Netherlands. This one was a match so tense it was dubbed the Battle of Rousseau, and luckily for Argentina, they had Martinez on their side. The game went to penalties, stakes were high, and the entire stadium held its breath. Messi went first and scored for Argentina. The Dutch captain Virgil van Dijk stepped up to take his kick, but Dibu Martinez was equal to the task. He saved Van Dijk's penalty and another Dutch pen to ensure Argentina's passage to the semi-final. He was clutch in spot kicks. It's like he lives for these moments, always prepared mentally to get into the head of the opposition. In the final versus France, the game was the most chaotic final ever in World Cup history, finished 3-3 after normal time and went to penalties. But you see guys, it shouldn't have. With the last kick of the game, France should have won it, but the only reason they were cussing their luck was because of Dibu. This save was priceless, kept Argentina in the match and sent them to penalties. And in the shootout versus France, Dibu brought out his secret trick in front of over 8 billion watching, the dark arts. Saved Kingsley Coman's spot kick, and his antics put off Tchouaméni in missing his spot kick as well. Argentina won the World Cup for the first time since 1986, and while most of the focus and spotlight was on Messi, Martinez was the deciding factor in the team's win. But for his save in the dying minute of extra time and his penalty antics, Argentina would have lost, and Messi would have been in tears again. Some people believe Martinez is full of himself, And to be fair, he's given them some reason to believe that. But then again, that's just how he is. That's his secret. It's his go-to move, and it works. The thing is, if it doesn't come off when he does all these tricks, Martinez knows he could look really dumb and set himself up for drags. But he puts his pride and ego on the line just to get his team the psychological advantage. At this summer's Copa America Championships, Martinez was once again heroic. In the quarterfinal versus Ecuador, a game many expected Argentina to breeze past and easily win, Ecuador somehow managed a late equalizer to take the game to penalties. Messi went up first for Argentina and did this. His Panenka attempt failed. Suddenly, a lot of Argentine fans in the stadium began to panic, but not Martinez. What happened next? He saved the next 2 Ecuadorian spot kicks, helped Argentina advance to the semis, and after a second successive clean sheet in a Copa America final, he was voted as the best goalkeeper of the competition, the 2nd year in a row. The reality is, Martinez is the kind of guy who'd do anything to win. His mind games at the 2022 World Cup were so insane. FIFA moved a motion into law that bans goalkeepers from any form of antics to stop a penalty taker during a spot kick. Damn, he even had the organization having meetings just to find a way to stop him. You can call him an evil genius if you like, but he gets the job done. To the ones who know him, he's the best. Even Messi approves. If you liked this video and would love to see more content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button straight up.